In life, every day we encounter situations. Some are joyful, some are painful, but it is never the event itself that determines who we become. It is the attitude we bring to these events that creates our life. A positive mental attitude is not naive happiness, it is inner strength. It is not pretending that everything is fine, it is choosing who you want to be, even when things are not fine. Today I would like to share with you 5 habits that can help you develop what I call an unbreakable positive mental attitude. One that, like bamboo, bends but does not break. Every morning, before the noise of the world reaches you, before the phone lights up with notifications, and before responsibilities start calling your name, there exists a small window of purity, a moment untouched by pressure, expectation, or distraction. This is not just a time to wake up your body, it is the sacred beginning of your inner world. How you begin your day determines the foundation for your thoughts, your reactions, your emotions, and your energy. That is why the habit of morning silence is not just a suggestion, it is a necessity for anyone who desires an unbreakable, positive mental attitude. In the temple where I live and train, we wake before the sun rises, not because of obligation, but because we understand the value of early awareness. The first act of the day is not physical. It is not about checking anything or preparing to rush out. It is simply about being. Sitting still, breathing slowly, watching, observing, listening. Within this silence, the truth begins to whisper. The silence in the morning is not about being passive or lazy. It is a form of active presence. You are sitting not to escape the world, but to prepare yourself to meet it fully. You are meeting yourself. Most people begin their day in reaction. As soon as they wake up, their minds are already running. They check their phones, they check the news, they think about what they lack or what they fear. The outside world immediately floods their attention. So from the very first breath, their mental attitude is hijacked by worry or comparison or urgency. How can one hope to cultivate peace and strength if the first action of the day is surrendering control? Instead, I encourage you to reclaim this first moment. Develop the habit of sitting quietly, even for 5 minutes. No need for complex technique. Simply sit upright. Keep your spine long, your hands relaxed on your knees, eyes either closed or gently resting downward. Focus on your breath. Feel the air entering and leaving your nose. Do not try to force thoughts away, just observe them like clouds moving across the sky, and then gently bring your attention back to the breath again and again. In the beginning, the mind will resist. It will say, this is boring, this is a waste of time, this is uncomfortable. But these are not your voice, these are habits of distraction. You must go beyond them. You must allow yourself to meet the silence long enough that it starts to work on you. In this silence, you may start to notice patterns. Maybe your mind often begins the day with judgment or anxiety. Maybe you notice how your body feels tight or restless. These observations are not problems. They are signs. They are the beginning of insight. The habit of silence gives you the mirror to see yourself clearly before the day reflects a distorted image back to you. After a few days of practice, you may notice subtle shifts. You might respond to stress with more calmness. You might speak more slowly and listen more deeply. You might even begin to feel gratitude for things you used to overlook. All of this comes from one small habit: giving yourself to the silence before the noise of the world can shape you. If you want a strong tree, you do not water the leaves, you water the roots. Your attitude, your peace, your discipline, these are roots, and morning silence is water. Once this habit is part of your life, you will notice that you carry this silence into everything you do. The silence becomes not just a morning ritual, but a state of mind. You begin to speak from a quieter place. You begin to act from a deeper space. The world outside may be fast, may be loud, may be uncertain, but inside you remain grounded. This silence is not empty. It is full of awareness, full of strength, full of choice. And that is what attitude truly is. Choice. The choice to respond instead of react. The choice to create instead of complain. The choice to be instead of always doing. Do not underestimate this habit because it is simple. The most powerful things in life are not complicated. A mountain stands strong not because it moves but because it stays rooted. You too can be that mountain, but only if you learn to meet yourself fully before the world meets you halfway. Begin tomorrow. Sit just 5 minutes. Do nothing. Watch your breath. Allow the silence to welcome you. It is not the silence of absence. It is the silence of presence. That is the birthplace of all unbreakable strength. If you can hold yourself each morning in this way, then no situation can truly shake you. No person can steal your peace. No difficulty can dominate your heart, because before the day begins, you have already won it. After the stillness of morning has reminded you who you are, there must follow action, not rushed action, not scattered effort, but disciplined movement, the kind of movement that connects your body to your mind and your spirit to your breath. This is the second habit, and without it, the silence will not sustain itself throughout the day. In the tradition I follow, we say that the body is the temple of the mind and the mind is the gate to the spirit. If your body is weak, your thoughts become heavy. If your body is restless, your focus breaks easily. Movement is not only a physical activity, it is a way to direct your energy with purpose and clarity. Disciplined movement is different from random exercise. It is not about looking a certain way or achieving speed or power. It is about becoming aware of your own potential, your own rhythm, your own limitations, and slowly overcoming them step by step, breath by breath. You are not fighting the body, you are learning to cooperate with it, to train it like a wild horse, and eventually ride it with calm confidence. Every movement becomes a message to your mind when you train in this way. For example, when I perform a simple kung fu form, the outer observer sees kicks, punches, stances, but what I experience is much deeper. I am learning balance. I am learning where tension lives in my body. I am learning how thoughts arise when I struggle and how they settle when I breathe with intention. This is how movement transforms into meditation. You can choose any form that resonates with your nature. It could be martial arts, it could be yoga, it could be mindful walking or stretching, but the key is to stay present, not to move on autopilot, and not to chase outcome. This is why I say disciplined movement, because discipline means awareness. It means you decide to stay with the discomfort without letting it turn into frustration or distraction. As you train the body, you will face resistance some days. The body will feel tired. Some days the mind will whisper excuses. It is in those moments that your attitude is tested. Will you obey the voice of weakness, or will you rise and move anyway, not aggressively, but consistently with dedication and care? Each time you move with awareness, you send a signal to yourself. I am not giving up. I am not falling back into chaos. I choose direction. One of the greatest benefits of disciplined movement is that it sharpens your inner mirror. Through physical practice, you reveal the patterns of your mind. When the muscles begin to shake and the breath becomes heavy, what stories do you tell yourself? Do you say, I cannot do this? Or do you say, this is how I grow? Through that awareness, you get the chance to rewrite those stories, to replace I am not enough with I am becoming stronger, to replace this is too hard with I am learning to endure. And slowly this strength moves off the training floor and into your daily life. When someone criticizes you, instead of reacting from ego, you breathe and stay grounded. When a situation turns uncertain, instead of panicking, you rely on the calmness you practiced in movement. When your goals feel far away, Instead of giving in to despair, you remember the patience your body taught you. Your body becomes your ally, not just in health, but in attitude. It reminds you of the truth that growth is not comfortable, but necessary. That discipline is not punishment, but freedom. That challenge is not the enemy, but the path itself. This is why I always say, do not wait for motivation to come before you move. Let movement create your motivation. When the body moves, the mind follows. And when the mind follows, it quiets down. It becomes less chaotic, more stable, more focused, and a focused mind is a positive mind. A strong body supports a resilient heart. Some people think discipline is a harsh word, but in my experience it is the most compassionate thing you can offer yourself. You are saying, I care enough about this life, this mind, this potential to train it, to shape it, to protect it from being lost in the noise of distraction and the pull of weakness. Each session of disciplined movement is a step towards freedom, not just physical freedom, but mental liberation. It is your way of saying, I am not a prisoner of habit. I am not defined by what I cannot do. I am defined by what I choose to do again and again, no matter how small, no matter how slow. So tomorrow, after you sit in morning silence, stand up and move. Let your breath guide your steps. Let your awareness stay in the body. Let your attention rest in the now. Do not rush. Do not compete. Simply move with purpose, with care, with strength. Your body is your first home. Treat it with respect. Train it with love, and you will discover that the positive attitude you seek does not come from the outside. It grows from within, with each breath, with each movement, with each step forward, even when it is difficult, even when it feels small, especially then. If you commit to this habit, the body will become your teacher, and the lessons it teaches will carry you through every challenge with grace and with power. Once your day begins with silence and your body is awakened with disciplined movement, you now enter the world fully awake, fully present. But this is where the real challenge starts. Because the world does not care if you sat in stillness or if you moved with awareness. The world will still try to pull your attention in every direction. And this is why the next habit becomes essential, the habit of focused attention. Everything in life begins with attention. Where your attention goes, your energy follows. If your attention is scattered, your energy becomes weak. If your attention is hijacked by distractions, your mind becomes tired and your attitude becomes reactive instead of deliberate. This is why we train focus, not just to improve productivity, but to protect our peace. Many people do not realize that their attention is their most valuable resource. They give it away freely to devices, to complaints, to fears, to every little thing that demands a moment of it without question. But if you are truly aiming to develop a positive, unshakable attitude, you must learn to treat your attention as sacred. Only then can you direct your mind, instead of letting the world direct it for you. One of the best ways to practice focused attention is to choose one task and give it your full presence. This may sound simple, but it is not easy, because the modern world is designed to fragment your focus. You open your phone to check a message, and within seconds, you are scrolling through news, through images, through noise. Your task is forgotten, your energy is drained, you feel busy but accomplish little, and that busyness becomes your identity. But what if you slowed down and chose to be fully present with what you are doing? If you are drinking tea, then just drink tea. Feel the warmth of the cup, smell the aroma. Notice how it feels as it enters your body. If you are speaking with someone, then really listen. Do not wait to respond, just listen fully. If you are working on something, then stay with it. Do not check anything. Do not let your mind wander to what is next. Just stay here. Through this simple yet powerful practice, you begin to regain control of your own mind. The monkey mind that jumps from branch to branch starts to settle. And in that stillness, your inner strength grows, because now you are choosing where your mind goes. And anything you choose consistently becomes a habit, and any habit you repeat with presence becomes a part of your character. People often think they need more time, but what they really need is more attention, because even 5 minutes of pure attention is more powerful than hours of distracted action. And the mind knows this. It thrives on clarity. It sharpens when it is not pulled in many directions. And a sharp mind sees clearly and responds wisely. Training focused attention also reveals something deeper. It shows you how much of your suffering comes from mental noise, not from reality, but from imagined stories, from unnecessary judgments, from wandering thoughts. When your attention is focused on the present moment, those stories lose their power, and what remains is simple life, direct life, the kind of life that does not overwhelm you but invites you to meet it with openness. Some people say they cannot focus, but that is not true. The truth is, they have not trained it. Focus is like a muscle. You must exercise it daily. Begin small. Choose one activity each day to practice full attention. Maybe it is brushing your teeth. Maybe it is preparing food. Maybe it is just walking down the street. Notice how many times your mind tries to escape, and each time gently return it back. Do this not with force, but with kindness and patience. Over time, your attention becomes steady, and from steady attention comes a calm mind, and from a calm mind comes clear choices, and from clear choices grows a powerful and positive attitude, one that does not collapse under pressure, one that does not fall into negativity, one that moves through life with presence and purpose. This is not about becoming perfect. It is about becoming intentional, about not allowing yourself to be owned by distractions, about remembering again and again that you have the power to choose where your focus goes, and by choosing wisely, you are shaping the quality of your entire day. Even when things go wrong, you can choose your focus. Will you fixate on what is broken, or will you direct your attention to what can be done? Will you stay trapped in complaint, or will you shift towards solution? Attention is not about ignoring problems. It is about responding with clarity instead of reacting with chaos. When you master your attention, you begin to master your reality, and this mastery is the root of peace. It is the seed of strength. It is the foundation of any unbreakable attitude, because now you are not a leaf blowing in the wind. You are the tree standing grounded. Tomorrow, as your day unfolds, notice where your attention flows. Bring it back when it wanders. Give it gently to what matters and protect it like a flame in the wind. Keep it steady, and you will begin to see how much brighter your inner light can shine, even when everything around you tries to dim it. After the mind has been stilled through silence, after the body has been aligned through movement, and after your focus has been refined and strengthened, the next layer of your inner world begins to show itself more clearly. This is the place where your attitude is truly shaped, not by what happens outside, but by what happens inside. And it is here that the fourth habit becomes essential, the habit of inner dialogue. Each day, whether you notice it or not, you are always speaking to yourself in your mind. This voice comments on everything. It judges, it compares, it explains, it repeats stories from the past and projects worries into the future. For most people, this voice is unconscious. It is like a stream that flows without control. And what many do not realize is that this voice shapes your emotions, your beliefs, and your actions more than any external event ever will. If you wish to develop a positive mental attitude that cannot be broken by circumstance, then you must begin to listen to this inner voice with honesty and care. You must ask, what kind of messages am I feeding myself every day? Because what you repeat to yourself becomes your truth, not the truth of reality, but the truth of your experience. And when the voice is filled with fear, doubt, anger, or blame, that becomes the world you live in, even if everything around you is going well. This is why we train the habit of conscious inner dialogue, not by pretending, not by forcing fake positivity, but by gently and firmly guiding the inner voice to reflect clarity and compassion. For example, if you face failure, the unconscious voice might say, "I am not good enough. I always fail. I will never get this right." But the trained mind, the one shaped through silence and movement and focus, hears those thoughts and replies, "This was hard, yes, but I am learning. I am not done. I am growing." This response does not deny the difficulty, but it refuses to let the difficulty define you. When you are tired, when you are disappointed, when things feel unfair, that is when your inner dialogue becomes most powerful. That is when it either becomes your enemy or your ally. The difference is awareness and habit, and the willingness to speak to yourself as you would to someone you deeply care about, not with false praise, but with truth and strength. Some believe that their inner voice is fixed, that it cannot be changed, but this is not true. The voice is a reflection of the mind, and the mind is trainable. It takes time, it takes patience, but it can change, and when it changes, your entire attitude shifts, because now, instead of being at the mercy of negative thoughts, you become the author of a different story, one based on resilience, purpose, and self-respect. Begin to observe how you speak to yourself, especially in the moments when no one is watching. When something goes wrong, when you feel behind, when someone criticizes you, what do you say to yourself? Notice if your words are harsh or hopeless. Notice if they take away your power or restore it. And then begin the practice of shifting the words just slightly, from "I cannot" to "I am trying." From "this is the end" to "this is a beginning." From "I am broken" to "I am healing." This shift in language is not for others to hear, it is for you. It is how you build an unshakable inner foundation, because when the outer world is chaotic, when things fall apart, you will still have that voice within that says, "I can meet this. I have faced struggle before. I will not abandon myself now." Speak these truths not just when things are good, but especially when things are difficult, because that is when your inner voice matters most. It becomes your guide, your companion, your quiet strength, and in time, this voice becomes so steady that it speaks even before the fear comes. It says, "Yes, this may be hard, but you are ready. Yes, you may feel pain, but you are not alone. Yes, you have doubts, but you are still moving forward." This kind of inner dialogue is not arrogance. It is not ignoring what is real. It is choosing what part of reality to amplify, what part to build on, and what part to release. It is training the voice to remind you that you are not your emotions, you are not your failures, you are not your past. You are the one who watches, who learns, who chooses again and again with more wisdom each time. As you practice this habit, you will notice your mood begins to change more quickly after setbacks. You will notice you are able to speak kindly to others even when you feel challenged. You will notice you spend less time in unnecessary suffering and more time in meaningful action. This is the power of inner dialogue. It shapes not just how you feel, but how you show up in the world. Let your inner words be simple and clear. Let them be your ground when the world is shaking. Let them be your fire when your motivation feels cold. Let them be your reminder that every day is a chance to start again and speak differently to yourself, and by doing so become different, not because someone else told you who to be, but because you chose who to become from the inside out. When the voice within becomes strong, steady, and supportive, then no matter what happens outside, you carry peace, you carry courage, you carry the unbreakable truth that you are never truly alone, because your own mind walks with you and speaks with you always. After you've begun your day in silence, after you've trained your body with disciplined movement, after you've learned to bring your attention into each moment, and after you've started guiding the voice inside your mind with care and strength, there remains one more habit that completes the circle. One more practice that locks everything in place. It makes your positive mental attitude not just strong, but alive. This habit is conscious contribution, the act of giving beyond yourself, not for reward, not for praise, but because it nourishes something deep inside your spirit. You can train your breath, your body, your focus and your thoughts, but if you do all of it only for yourself, something will always feel incomplete, like a warrior without a cause, like a flame that only warms the hand that holds it. Your true power, your true peace, your unshakable attitude becomes real when you share it, when you offer it to others, not with noise, not with ego, but with sincerity and presence. Contribution is not about grand gestures. It is about the small choices you make each day when no one is watching, the way you speak with patience when others are rushing, the way you help someone without being asked, the way you listen when someone is not being heard. Each of these acts may seem small, but they carry weight, they carry meaning, and they strengthen your own mindset, because each time you act with kindness, you remind yourself that you are not helpless, you are not alone, you are not here just to survive, you are here to serve something greater than comfort or fear. Many people look outward and ask, what can the world give me? What can I get? What do I deserve? But the real shift begins when you reverse the question. When you wake up and ask, what can I give? Who can I support? How can I be useful to even one person today? This question is not a burden, it is a gift, because it takes your attention